Hello, this is Tammy Roby Show again with my dear friend Samantha Vate from Samantha Heals LA. Today we're going to talk about suffering. And I guess suffering, is that something that we are all destined for? I've noticed that there are some people in life where it seems like their world is just more suffering upon more suffering. And then we have other people that I see that it's like there's no, but their life is just peaches and rosebuds and everything is beautiful and perfect all the time. So are they both dealing with the same level of suffering? Is suffering different for them and we don't see one versus the other? So Samantha, I'd like you to give me your take on what suffering is.
Yeah, I love this topic and I love this conversation. I think having been through it for decades, you really get into the mindset of this is happening to me. Nobody understands. Nobody can relate to me. Woe is me. I have this dark cloud over me, and just, no one understands. You're so lucky to have such a wonderful life, whereas I'm doomed and this is it. And then the more you have an awakening, the more you start working on yourself, you really do realize that, oh, this is a choice. It goes down to choices. It's like you wake up in the morning and you're somebody, Tammy, that loves to listen to country. She likes to listen to classical music, and that is your preference. It's what gives you joy. And then you come down in the morning and you put it onto to heavy metal and jazz, and it literally, it's like nails on a chalkboard. It grates at you, it upsets you, it infuriates you, it aggravates your whole day. And yet, are you then going to just let the radio stay on those channels? No, you're not. I hope you're not. I hope you don't want to feel suffering to that extent that you're just going to leave it on a channel that you don't want. No, you are going to go back to that radio dial and you are going to turn it to something that you are in harmony with, right? I'm hoping that's correct, Tammy. Yeah.
For me, at this point in my life, yes, that
Yeah.
is what I'm starting to
So
feel.
then why do we do that? Why do we get up in the morning and then we're in a grumpy mood? We're just waking up like you stub your toe and then you're angry for the rest of the day, or something happens, somebody says something, you get a text and then you're in just the foulest mood. And then again, you go unaware all day, or then maybe for a couple of days or for a week, thinking then you can't do anything about it. Are you telling me that this it's the same thing? In my reality, it's the same thing. I can then just stop and think, okay, I'm in a frequency that I really don't like, and because of this frequency, I'm now attracting things that I really, really just don't want. So all I have to do is just dial in again, and that easy, just turn it to a frequency that I do want to feel, which is hopefully, well, for me, it's going to be joy or happiness or just something that makes me happy. But it really is that simple. You're just then tuning in. It's no different from the radio. It's all frequency. That is really, in my simplest terms, it is that easy. It's a choice. It's a complete choice. I give you, and I'm going to take this to the next level just by giving you another example. You are working and you really don't like the job you're doing. You've got to a stage where you want to do something different. You want to spend time with your family, and you feel that you can't do it. You're now stuck working with your partner or your family business, but you don't want to do it anymore. And every time you go to hire someone, it for one reason or other it doesn't work out, and then now you're drawn back into this role which you just don't want to do. And now you've got to a situation where you're frustrated, you're angry, you're doing it, and then all you're getting is more of that frequency, and it can't move you to what you want to do, because the universe is like, okay, she's upset, she's frustrated, she's now still in a job she doesn't want to do. So the universe is like, okay, let's give her more of those situations. So all I'm saying is it's about a choice. You can look at it from two standpoints. You can either not do it, and then there's money not coming into your family business, and you wouldn't want that. So that's a choice. Or the second choice is, okay, I'm going to do this to the best of my ability for now, and I know that in my alignment to just doing this because it's going to serve my family, it's going to serve my husband, my partner, in that allowing, the universe will then bring me something that I do want. It's going to help in that process. The moment you said, I don't want to do it because I want to do what really gives me passion and look after the grandchildren or whatever, the universe has already set that up. But in you not allowing, it can't give you that. So you always have two choices. You can either just say, no, to hell with the family business. Okay, it's not money coming in. You wouldn't do that because you still have a conscious, but you then just say, okay, I'm going to align to this for now and I'm going to give it my best. And in that moment, it's really the universe just aligning, thinking, okay, now it will give you in that different vibration what it really wants to give to you so that you can move to what you want to do. Does that make sense? It's a choice, but it's reframing the choice. You always have two choices. And you can make it may not be ideal, but it's about being congruent with that second choice that maybe not ideal, but get behind it in a very high vibration.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's also being grateful for the situation that you have because, and when you are being grateful for that situation, it helps raise your vibration and get to the end result even faster. And that end result is what you want and that change in your life. The one thing that you said that I absolutely love, it's a decision, but it's a decision with action behind it. And that action could just be the intent for the change. So I thought that was beautifully said.
I mean, is this something you can relate to?
Oh, absolutely. As you know, I am in the process of changing my life. I was very unhappy and I was living in that misery and that suffering for a very, very long time. And it got to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot continue to live this same type of life where I'm not happy. No matter what I do, I'm not happy. So I am in the process of setting up a life that I want. And kind of like the story that you were relating, your second story, I am definitely ready to leave the corporate world and move into doing something that is more fulfilling in my purpose work. I'm not at a position where I can do that yet. So I'm super grateful that I still have that position and that income, but I'm actively taking steps to move forward into my purpose work and that paths. And since I've started taking the action and I made the decision that I'm going to be thankful for exactly the situation that I'm in, the suffering has basically been gone. So it is that alignment when you make the decision wholeheartedly. Like you can't just say it. You have to make the decision in your heart. Like you have to feel it on a very deep level. And at that point, like the universe just started giving me the guidance, opening opportunities, and just unfolding beautifully for me. So the alignment has to be there.
I agree. And I think the moment you do have that alignment and just deciding enough is enough, I think in that moment the suffering goes because you are just in a completely different headspace to then just think, okay, well, oh, it doesn't have to be this way. There's actually hope. And in that hope, it sort of dissolves the suffering. No, it's not going to just disappear just like that. But the more you then just start choosing to go right instead of left, where right is the hope and left is the suffering, this just hopefully this just keeps overriding, right? So I think that's it. And it's in a nutshell, right? You can keep on the dial or you can literally turn the dial to something that you do want.
Exactly. And sometimes you're going to have to keep turning that dial back to the station that you want to listen to, but that's okay. It's all part of the process and the journey.
I agree. I think it comes down to that you are so in control here. You got to, it's that level of awareness and knowing that, nothing out there is in complete control. It's what's inside. And the universe is ready to give you everything, but you just got to keep turning that dial all the time, just like a ship or whatever. It's like you just keep turning and staying on path um, until you get to your destination in a happy, joyful, peaceful place, right?
It's like any muscle. It's weak at first, and then you keep focusing on it and you keep refocusing and working on it. And next thing you know, you're doing it without even thinking about it.
And what I think I've noticed, and I'm sure you can relate to this now, is that when you get to those places of suffering and despair, it feels so yucky. It feels
Terrible.
horrible.
Terrible. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore.
Course correcting instantly,
Yes.
right?
It makes it a lot easier to self-correct once you're like, ooh, I don't like that anymore.
Yeah. And it's not always instantaneously that, but you've got to have the belief, even if you feel that you've got no trust because you've lived in the thinking that the outside world is in control, you've got to get to that place and say, okay, I'm trusting that I don't have that trust at the moment. I'm just trusting and I'm believing. And even that's being congruent. It's not to say that, oh, you can just switch it off. For some people, if they've been through decades, they can't do that. So even just you trusting that I'm going to trust that things haven't, I haven't seen that reality yet, but just believing and trusting that it will happen.
That it's
You know?
coming. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's beautiful. And I think that gives people hope that are unsure or unclear or are afraid to trust. Just be like, okay, I'm just going to trust today and then trust again tomorrow and each day. And before you know it, you have a whole new reality, and things that used to cause suffering are not even in your life anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just trusting where you are right now, what you're seeing, because with the awareness as well, um, that's literally going to change little steps every day,
Yes,
really.
absolutely. I love that. I think that's a great note to end on. It's small steps every day, and I would throw consistency on top of that. And that is a very easy way to start alleviating suffering. So again, Samantha, thank you for joining me and having a conversation. I love our conversations. They always bring me such joy. So I hope we get to do it again soon. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you so much, Tammy. Cheers.